Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicates main tunnel of Pragati Maidan in New Delhi, says upgrading of infrastructure is centre's priority. Country's military leadership allays fears about Agnipad, says the goal is to recruit more youth in the forces. Meghalaya Chief Minister inspects damaged portion of National Highway, assures victims the government stands by them in troubled times. No let-up in Assam flood scenario, weatherman predicts more rains in next few days. And Prime Minister Modi launches historic torch relay for Chess Olympiad at New Delhi's Indira Gandhi Stadium. A very good evening, viewers. Welcome to the Northeast News Bulletin. This is Sangeeta Bhattacharjee bringing to you the stories in detail. In national news first, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today dedicated to the nation the main tunnel and 5 underpasses of Pragati Maidan Integrated Transit Corridor project in New Delhi. Speaking at the event, Modi said the project had to undergo several obstacles, including COVID. He said there is no dearth of people in the country who knock on the judiciary's door to disrupt the process of such projects, but the government has made it through. Saying the centre is working relentlessly to build state-of-the-art facilities, he underlined the work undertaken in modernizing the infrastructure. The project, developed at a cost of more than 920 crore rupees, aims to provide hassle-free and smooth access to the exhibition and convention centre being developed at Pragati Maidan. Modi inspected the Integrated Transit Corridor project. Modi also picked up litter at the newly launched tunnel and displayed his commitment to Swachh Bharat.
कम समय में इस इंटीग्रेटेड ट्रांजिट कॉरिडोर को तैयार करना जरा भी आसान नहीं था। जिन सड़कों के इर्द गिर्द ये कॉरिडोर बना है वो दिल्ली की सबसे व्यस्ततम सड़कों में से एक है और ये जो टनल बनी है उसके ऊपर तो 7 रेलवे लाइंस गुजर रही है। इन सारी मुश्किलों के बीच कोरोना धमका और हमारे देश में ऐसे कुछ भी काम करो तो जुडिशरी के दरवाजे खटखटाने वाले लोगों की भी कमी नहीं है। हर चीज में अड़ंगे डालने वाले होते होते ही है। अनेक मुसीबतें पैदा होती हैं देश को आगे ले जाने में। इस प्रोजेक्ट को भी वैसी कठिनाइयों से गुजरना पड़ा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today called on President Ramnath Kovind at Rashtrapati Bhavan. President Kovind's 5-year tenure comes to an end on the 24th of next month. At the beginning of this month, Prime Minister Modi had accompanied President Ramnath Kovind to his ancestral village Parong in Kanpur Dehat of Uttar Pradesh. In more national news, top military leadership of the country today said the main motive behind implementing the Agnipad scheme was to bring in more youth into the forces. Lieutenant General Anil Puri, Additional Secretary, Department of Military Affairs, said this reform was long pending. He said the announcements regarding the reservations for Agniveers announced by the different ministries and departments were pre-planned and not in reaction to the arson that took place after announcement of the scheme. He said Agniveers will get a compensation for 1 crore rupees if he sacrifices his life in service of the nation. The Agniveers will get the same allowance in areas like Siachen and other areas which are replicable to the regular soldiers. Air Marshal Suraj Jha, Air Officer personnel, said Indian Air Force will begin recruitment under the Agnipad scheme from June 24 onwards.
On 1st July, we will have the notifications from all the recruiting officers और उसके बाद ये अपना अपना एप्लीकेशन एंड रजिस्ट्रेशन शुरू कर सकते हैं जॉइन इंडिया आर्मी वेबसाइट पर।
हम लोग ने भी अपनी रिक्रूटमेंट प्रक्रिया शुरू कर दी है और अगले 2-3 दिनों में 25 जून तक जो हमारा एडवर्टीजमेंट है वो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन ब्रॉडकास्टिंग में पहुंच जाएगा।
Now coming what after 4 years, जिसकी वजह से आई एम श्योर आप यहाँ पे इकट्ठे हुए हैं। देखिए, पहले हमको ये समझना है, ये 17.5 साल से 21 साल, जो पहली साल के लिए 2 साल बढ़ाया गया तो 23 साल, ये निकलेगा कौन सी उम्र में? इसकी कम से कम उम्र होगी 21 साल, ज्यादा से ज्यादा 25 साल। आप में से बताइए कि 27 साल या 25 साल की उम्र में कितनों को जॉब्स लग गई थी? आपको इसका आंसर देने की जरूरत नहीं है, बट आपको मालूम है कि 25 साल के अंदर आपकी जॉब कहां थी, कहां नहीं थी। कमिंग बैक।
Moving on, Union government has decided to implement employee state insurance ESI scheme in the entire country by the end of this year. Presently, ESI scheme is fully implemented in 443 districts and partially implemented in 153 districts, whereas 148 districts are not covered under the scheme. The medical care services will be provided through establishing new dispensary cum branch office by tie-up with hospitals of Ayushman Bharat, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. The decision has been taken during 188th meeting of ESI Corporation under the chairmanship of Labour and Employment Minister Bhupendra Yadav today. Speaking on the occasion, the minister informed that 6,400 vacancies for different posts have been advertised by the ESIC in last 8 months. Moving on to Northeast now, in Meghalaya, Chief Minister Conrad Sangma today inspected National Highway 6 at Lumshnong, East Jaintia Hills district to take stock of the damages caused by landslides. Informing this in a series of tweets, Sangma said he inspected the diversion road in Lumshnong, the alternate route now being used for vehicles while restoration works in the highway go on. He interacted with truck drivers and stranded people. He said the government stands by everyone in these challenging times. Sangma instructed the district authorities to ensure supply of food items to the stranded people. Later, he held a review meeting in East Jaintia Hills District Administration to assess the damages caused in the district and asked it to restore the roads and ensure supply of essential commodities.
In the rural areas, a large number of bridges, infrastructures have been wiped out, and therefore this in itself is a huge impact in terms of.
In Assam, the flood situation remains grim as the incessant rain continues in most parts of the state. Reports of new areas being submerged in floodwaters are pouring in various districts. Close to 31 lakh people in 32 districts have so far been affected. District administrations, along with NDRF, SDRF, Indian Army, NGOs and local public, have been carrying out relief and rescue operations. Road and railway infrastructure has been badly affected. Water level of the Brahmaputra and its tributaries and other rivers are continuously on the rise and flowing above the danger mark in many places. The Regional Meteorological Center, Guwahati, has predicted more rains in the next few days. Meanwhile, talking to the media in Guwahati today, Assam State Disaster Management Authority CEO GB Tripathi said deputy commissioners of various districts have been authorized to grant ex gratia of 4 lakh rupees to the next of kin of the deceased.
Specifically, very grim from the flood point of view, but it started 6th April. And then we had first wave of flood starting from 12th of May, and then total number of persons in the landslide and in also flood, 62 persons have lost their lives since 6th April.
In Manipur, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh today flagged off e-rickshaws for the e-rickshaw workers union from Kangla. In a tweet, Singh said the state is witnessing a rapid transformation in the e-vehicle sector. People must also be prepared to accept this transformation, which is economical, cleaner and healthier for the environment. Meanwhile, in another tweet, the Manipur Chief Minister said that GPS-enabled highway patrol along the Palel-More route is present day and night to ensure safety of the commuters and respond to any emergency. This crucial highway has been developed into one of the best highways of the state. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today launched the historic torch relay for the 44th Chess Olympiad at Indira Gandhi Stadium in New Delhi in presence of Union Youth and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur. This year, for the very first time, the international chess body FIDE has instituted the Chess Olympiad torch, which is a part of the Olympic tradition, but was never done in the Chess Olympiad. India is the first ever country to have the Chess Olympiad torch today. FIDE President Arkady Dvorkovich handed over the torch to Prime Minister Modi, who in turn handed it over to Grandmaster Vishwanathan Anand. The 44th Chess Olympiad will be held in Chennai from the 28th of July to the 10th of August this year.
कि चेस इतने बड़े इंटरनेशनल इवेंट के रूप में अपने जन्मस्थान में फिर एक बार आकर के सेलिब्रेट किया जा रहा है। भारत सदियों पहले चतुरंग के रूप में इस स्पोर्ट की मसाल पूरी दुनिया में गई थी। आज शतरंज की पहली ओलंपियाड मशाल भी भारत से निकल रही है। आज जब भारत अपनी आजादी के 75 वर्ष मना रहा है, अमृत महोत्सव मना रहा है, तो ये चेस ओलंपियाड, ये मशाल भी देश के 75 शहरों में जाएगी।
In cricket, the fifth and final T20 international between India and South Africa will be played at M. Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru this evening. This will be the decider encounter as the series is currently levelled at 2-2, with South Africa winning the first two matches and India the third and the fourth. Heading into today's game, India look the better of the two sides. Since 2019, they have not lost a bilateral T20 international series at home. South Africa, on the other hand, have not lost a series in India in any format since 2011. As last reports came in, South Africa have won the toss and decided to field first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the Constitution is not just a book but an idea, a commitment and a belief in freedom. He said synergy of rights and duties make the Constitution so special. Modi released Ram Bahadur Rai's book Bharatiya Samvidhan Ankahi Kahani and addressed the event through a video message on Saturday. He said that from the formation of the Constituent Assembly to its debates, from the adoption of the Constitution to its present stage, India has consistently seen a dynamic and progressive Constitution.
18 जून को
In Manipur, as a prelude to the International Day of Yoga celebrations, Assam Rifles organized one-day Indo-Yoga session at its battalion headquarters in Tamenglong. The Indo session included a series of events comprising yoga for women, yoga quiz and lecture on yoga and its benefits. The event was part of the unit's ongoing initiatives as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It was aimed to create awareness and inspire a mass movement for health and well-being through yoga. And to end the news, the main points once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicates main tunnel of Pragati Maidan in New Delhi, says upgrading of infrastructure is centre's priority. Country's military leadership allays fears about Agnipath, says the goal is to recruit more youth in the forces. Meghalaya Chief Minister inspects damaged portion of National Highway, assures victims the government stands by them in troubled times. No let-up in Assam flood scenario, weatherman predicts more rains in next few days. And Prime Minister Modi launches historic torch relay for Chess Olympiad at New Delhi's Indira Gandhi Stadium. And that brings us to the end of this evening's bulletin. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.